All right, so let's bring in Dr. Llewellyn, MacMaster, Chairperson of the Cape Crime Crisis Coalition. Dr. MacMaster, very good afternoon to you. Another multiple shooting occurring in Kraaifontein just days after the acting police minister and the mayor, in fact, announced progress on policing infrastructure there. I mean, what does this latest incident say about the urgency of gun violence crisis in Cape Town?
Yeah, I think we should all agree that we have a deep crisis right now, and it's not new. When the Cape Crime Coalition was formed just over a year ago, it was also because of the spike in gang-related killings. So unfortunately, it is not only the mass shootings that is happening. I think on a daily basis, there are reports of people being killed. I mean, Kraaifontein is highlighted right now, but just Friday night, you know, in Blue Downs, also 3 people were just gunned down by one a single gunman while they were standing in front of a spaza shop. And that is, you know, with other reports of over the weekend, you know, in other places altogether, that which is reported is already about 8 or 10 people being killed. So we have a crisis. And at the moment, it is from a police perspective, I don't think we can say it's under control. But we have listened to the minister, we've engaged with the minister. And, you know, from where we stand, it is not just the minister. I mean, I said it last year when Minister Mtunu was appointed. When he comes in as a police minister, the police commissioner and SABC must already have plans. It cannot be just because there is now a new or acting minister that we look to him.
Yeah.
The question is why SABC not come up with a definite program.
Dr. MacMaster, as we continue to just investigate what could be at play here, we know with this latest incident, it hasn't been confirmed quite yet if it's gang related, but Acting Minister Kachalia said, you know, not too long ago, in fact, that the country is under siege by criminals. Do you agree with this framing? And if so, should gang violence be treated at some extent now as a national security crisis rather than just a policing issue, as we are seeing is the case at the moment?
Yes, I think, again, that is what we've been saying all along, that it cannot just be a policing issue. These things are complex. It is not just gangs, it is organized crime networks that has, in a sense, infiltrated all spheres of our society. So what we're saying, unfortunately, it is in the poorer, underprivileged communities that the shootings are happening. But these guys, these organized criminals have their fingers all over. And they're just using, in my view, you know, our poorer areas to send in the hitmen and cause devastation. So I think everyone understands it cannot just be a police matter.
Yeah. And
it's not a quick thing,
Yeah.
But we want to hear from the police that they have a plan.
And just on that note, you know, speaking about plans and also speaking about what it would look like if it was a national crisis intervention, on just the gang violence and the policing strategy, Professor Kachalia again admitting the country lacks that concrete plan to fight gangsterism. I mean, what should such a plan look like, do you think? And how do we ensure it doesn't remain under-resourced and even unimplemented as we've been seeing with other plans that have been, you know, announced in recent years?
Yeah, I think from the Cape Crime Coalition, I think one of our criticisms is that the community is not being brought into these discussions. Yes, we have the CPF and the CPF board and so on. But there's too little community consultation. And I think that is, that if that happened, we can work on the trust deficit that is currently, that we experience, very low. People don't trust them. We have made a call as a coalition a couple of months ago, and it's on hold now because of the General Kwanazi's revelations and so on. But we've made a call for a commission of inquiry into gangs and organized crime, not just for the Western Cape, but for other parts of the country, also in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, Eastern Cape, and even KwaZulu-Natal, where we have that. So we want a comprehensive plan also for what's happening in other areas that's suffering. And this is, again, is when I speak about the Western Cape, I think I've criticized the police commission in the Western Cape also, because not so long ago, he said that there's no problem with gangs in Cape Town, which cannot be, the analysis that he's working with, because gangs is decades and in some instances centuries in our communities, and it's a generational thing. Yeah. So you're not going to solve it, with sending in the army. I know there's calls coming from communities for the army to be sent in for a state of emergency. And the minister has alluded to it when he met with us as faith leaders on Friday, that they will definitely give consideration, even if it's limited and not an extensive sort of emergency, state of emergency and so on. Yeah. So he says, I acknowledge there's a problem, and we cannot continue with business as usual to solve what is going on right now.
Yeah, but I can tell you, whether it is a commission of inquiry into gang violence, whether it is the army being brought in, communities like Wallerstein, Aikendal, Kraaifontein and Blue Downs, as you've also just mentioned, do say that they feel abandoned. But that's all the time we have. Unfortunately, Dr. MacMaster, thank you so much for your time. That is Dr. Llewellyn MacMaster, Chairperson of the Cape Crime Crisis Coalition, as we look at more shootings in Cape Town.